My name is Vashti. I'm 57 years old. I've been fostering now, God, it was 1994. How long is that?
Nearly 20 years.
Yeah, nearly 20 years in total, yeah. I started fostering by helping out a young man who was a friend of my brother's, and he used to be in a children's home, and he would always come to my house, and the children's home would come and collect him and take him back. So whenever he wasn't in the children's home, they always knew where to find him. And it worried me because I think at the time he didn't feel comfortable. Like he'd come to my house on a Sunday for dinner because they didn't cook Caribbean food in the children's home. And from that really, I just had an inkling that that's something I should be doing. So I was actually doing the fostering and the social work at the same time. And I thought I could make some change in these children's life. You know, maybe not major changes, but at least something that would benefit them, even if it was to give them things like self-esteem or their identity or wherever it was. I just think that I could offer that, really. But I think the rewarding aspect for myself, it's when I see the results. When I see I've made a difference in that young person's life, whether they're with me at the time and you see some changes, or when they've grown up. And as I was saying to somebody the other day, that when you're fostering, sometimes you just keep banging your head and think, oh God, and it's later on you see it, and that's rewarding itself. Makes me smile to think I've made a difference. Rearing children is a challenge in itself, whether they're your children or foster children. I don't think they're any different because they're foster children. I think for me, the difference is that they are not your children and you probably don't have the history with them, so you have to work that much harder. Because as I said, you know, my grandson, he's 16, he gives lip, but the way you deal with it is different to how you deal with a foster child, because if you think about unconditional love and loyalty, you wouldn't have that with a foster child. So you have to build that. So I think it is challenging, but then I think bringing up children is challenging. I don't think it's any different. I don't think young people in care are any different to any other young people. As I said, I do get, my grandson can be cheeky. I've seen parents who have children that you think, you know, are difficult to manage. I don't think, you will get some children who are unfortunately very, very damaged and very difficult to live with or manage. And perhaps, I suppose, some of the children in care, not all of the children, they are perhaps more challenging. But I suppose the reason why they're more challenging is because they don't have the continuity in terms of somebody there for them. So I would not say, I think yes, it's misconstrued that children in care are more challenging, more difficult than other children. I don't think so, no. Not from my experience. I think you have to have lots of patience, really loads of patience. You have to have, in terms of attributes and skills, you have to have good understanding of yourself, also of those children, because if you don't understand yourself, you're not going to understand those children. So it's important, and you've got to be committed. You've got to be committed to carry something through. There's no point taking it up and then sort of thinking, oh, I'm going to drop it. You don't come into fostering if you're not really committed to it. Make sure that's really what you want to do. Get an understanding of what fostering is about, because these are not your birth children. They are not yours, and you have to be committed enough to go that extra mile, because if they swear at you in the morning, you know, you can't hang on to that. You've got to let it go, because you would let it go with your own child, but then with a foster child, because they're not yours, you could probably tend to want to hang on to it. So if you're going to come into fostering, be sure that's what you want and it's there for the right reason. You know, yes, there is a financial reward, but at the end of the day, it's not about the financial reward. It's about your commitment and your willingness and to be prepared to sort of see a child through to their adult life, whatever it is, and be there for them, rain, snow, whatever. Just the same way you'd be there for your own child. It is rewarding, and you do get that support. I mean, on Sunday when my placement, the young woman was acted out, I was able to pick up the phone and phone my supervisor social worker, and she was there on the other end of the phone. She was, even if she wasn't, you know, had her own family commitment, she would have come around. But so I'm thinking, if you do come into, you will get that support. Because on a Sunday, I mean, it's not a done thing. You don't want to phone because you're not doing a 9-to-5 job, and the support cannot be 9 to 5. I'm Vashti. I've turned my house into a home. Could you do the same?